Good morning. Good morning this time. Jay with Bitten by Books, Great Scott Audio Productions, once again for Book Bites. Today we're going to do Harm None by M.R. Sellers, the first book of the Rowan Gant investigations. So really fantastic series. Just a really down-to-earth bunch of characters. It's an easy read to get into and love the characters and love the story. More detective novel than paranormal, but the paranormal that comes in it's fabulous. And I quite like the series. I quite like MR. He's a wonderful man. He and his wife are fantastic people. So if you get the chance, pick them up. They're absolutely well worth the read. If you haven't read them, if you've heard of them, you've probably got them. So we will continue on. I'm going to go in from chapter 2. And we're going to get a little bit of background on our main characters here. My friend dropped his large frame heavily into a chair and went about trimming the end from a fresh cigar as I lit the citronella oil-filled tiki torches that rimmed the deck. Mosquitoes had been bad this summer, and these seemed to stave them off fairly well while providing an unobtrusive light. After bringing the last torch to life, I took my seat opposite Ben at the patio table and proceeded to work on my own after-dinner smoke. I could literally feel his introspection building to a point of release, and knew that the worry clouding the back of my mind would soon be summoned forward. "You and Felicity are still into that Wicca thing, right?" Ben queried after an extended silence. "If you mean we've converted to Catholicism or something, no, we haven't," I answered. "We aren't connected with a coven right now, but we still practice. Once you're a witch, you usually stay a witch." I lit my cigar and then took a sip of my scotch. "Why do you ask?" "Just curious," he replied hesitantly. I knew there was more to the question than mere curiosity, but I also knew better than to press this particular subject with Ben, for that would only serve to make him feel ill at ease. He had always been willing to accept that Felicity and I practiced what was considered by most to be a non-traditional religion that usually showed a clear desire to leave it in the background. Out of sight, out of mind. As with most things that didn't fit in with the majority view, the masses, including Ben, were entirely off base in their misconceptions regarding Wicca, witchcraft, and almost any alternative religion for that matter. I had once attempted to explain to him that Wicca and witchcraft, or simply the craft, as we often call it, involved no pointed hats, bubbling cauldrons, or flying brooms. To the knowledge of any practitioner of the religion, it never truly did include such things. I told him that Wicca was simply an earth religion, and as for deities, ours were the earth and the moon, Diana and Pan, respectively. There was no evil intent, and in fact our most basic and all-important covenant was to harm none. We viewed our religion as a way of life through which we did our best to live in harmony with nature, and through study and meditation we attempted to learn control over the natural energies that inherently reside within all of us. I further explained that in doing this, we sometimes developed abilities that some would consider psychic in nature, such as an uncanny sixth sense or ability to heal others and ourselves. We think of these as learned talents, nothing more, nothing less. I even added that I knew of no incident where anyone had been turned into a frog, except in fairy tales. The simple fact was that even if that were possible, no self-respecting witch would consider it. Even after I answered his several pointed questions, he still clung to his misconceptions, and so, out of respect for him, I made sure to steer clear of the subject entirely. Now, for the second time in less than a week, Ben was asking me about a part of my life he normally avoided. I wasn't about to push, so I was more than willing to bide my time and wait for him to get around to what he wanted. I could feel his preoccupation thick in the darkness around us, and so I was certain my wait would be a short one. "So, you remember when I called you about that 5-pointed star a couple of days back?" he finally asked. You mean the difference between a pentacle and a pentagram? I returned. Yeah, I remember. That's it, he affirmed. Would you mind telling me the difference on that again? No problem. A pentacle is basically what you said, a five-pointed star surrounded by a circle. It's a very common symbol in the Wiccan religion. When it's upright, I scribe the symbol in the air with my finger. With only one point at the top, it represents man and the spirit, as it rules over the four elements. That's when it's called a pentacle. If, on the other hand, you turn it 180 degrees and 2 points are at the top, I spun my finger in a circle, it's called a pentagram and represents the spirit's union with material elements. I relaxed back into my chair. Some, however, place an improper, albeit widely accepted, meaning on the pentagram. They claim it represents Satan, evil, black magic, etc., etc. So, if it's right side up or whatever, it doesn't mean anything evil, he posed. It actually depends on who drew it and the significance they placed on it. But it's really nothing more than a symbol. Inherently, neither of them mean anything evil, I answered. In my religion, anyway. Ben stared thoughtfully out into the night, absently fingering the rim of his scotch glass and quietly puffing on his cigar. I didn't disturb him. I instead watched the orange glow on the end of his cigar each time he puffed, and waited patiently for the next question. Thank you again. Enjoy your day.